Imagine walking along a serene beach, the sound of waves crashing against the shore. It's a peaceful setting. Now picture this, a man, well dressed in a suit, sitting slumped against a seawall. He looks as if he's simply resting, until you realize he's lifeless. This was the chilling scene at Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia, on December 1st, 1948. The man carried no ID. His clothes had no labels, and the only clue to his identity was a small cryptic piece of paper in his pocket that read, "Tamám Shud, Persian, for it is finished." Who was this man? How did he die? And why has his story remained one of the world's most perplexing mysteries for over 70 years? It was a quiet morning when a couple strolling along Somerton Beach noticed the man. At first, they thought he was drunk or sleeping, but when he didn't stir, they called the police. The man was impeccably dressed, a clean white shirt, tie, trousers, and polished shoes. Yet something was immediately strange. He had no wallet, no identification, and no personal belongings, and his clothes had all their labels meticulously removed. Even his cause of death was baffling. The autopsy revealed no signs of violence, no external injuries, and no immediately apparent toxins in his system. It was as though he had simply ceased to live. But the real mystery began when investigators dug deeper into his belongings, or rather, the lack of them. The most intriguing find was in a hidden pocket sewn into his trousers. Inside, investigators discovered a tightly rolled scrap of paper with the words, "Tamám Shud." Police traced the phrase to the Rubáiyát, a book of Persian poetry by Omar Khayyam. The phrase meaning, "It is finished," is the final line of the book. The torn page led to a nationwide search for the exact copy of the Rubáiyát. Months later, a man came forward, claiming to have found the book tossed in the back seat of his car, parked near Somerton Beach. When police examined the book, they found more mysteries. The final page had been torn out, perfectly matching the scrap in the man's pocket. On another page, there was a series of seemingly random letters, believed to be some kind of code. What did the code mean? And how did it connect to the dead man? The investigation took another turn when a phone number was discovered written inside the book. It belonged to a local woman named Jo Thompson, who lived near Somerton Beach. When questioned, Jo denied knowing the man but appeared visibly shaken when shown his photograph. Some believe she recognized him but withheld information, perhaps out of fear. Adding to the intrigue, Jo had once owned a copy of the Rubáiyát, the same edition from which the torn page originated. Was Jo connected to the Somerton Man, or was her involvement purely coincidental? Over the decades, countless theories have emerged to explain the mystery of the Somerton Man. 1. A spy thriller. The Cold War was in full swing in 1948, and Adelaide had strategic military facilities. Some believe the Somerton Man was a spy, possibly assassinated with an untraceable poison. The code in the Rubáiyát may have been a cipher used in espionage. The removal of his clothing labels and lack of identification point to deliberate attempts to conceal his identity. 2. A tragic love affair. Another theory suggests the Somerton Man had a romantic connection to Jo Thompson. Some speculate he was the father of her son. Was he spurned by Jo and decided to end his life near her home, leaving behind a cryptic message? 3. An untraceable poison. While no toxins were found during the autopsy, experts believe he could have been killed by a rare or rapidly degrading poison consistent with spy techniques of the era. His clean, composed appearance at the time of death supports this idea. In recent years, advances in DNA technology have breathed new life into the case. In 2022, researchers extracted DNA from hairs found on the Somerton Man's plaster death mask. This led to the identification of possible relatives in Australia. One theory now gaining traction is that the Somerton Man was Carl Charles Webb, a Melbourne-born electrical engineer. Webb disappeared from public records around the time of the Somerton case, and his family connections align with the DNA evidence. While this identification answers who he might have been, it still leaves critical questions unanswered. Why was he in Adelaide? What role did the Rubáiyát play in his life and death? Was his death intentional, accidental, or part of a larger scheme? The Tamám Shud case isn't just a story about a mysterious death. It's a perfect storm of unanswered questions, cryptic clues, and historical intrigue. It highlights 1. The limitations of technology in the past. Despite the meticulous police work of 1948, tools like DNA analysis weren't available until decades later. 2. The human desire for closure. Who was this man? Did he have a family searching for him? Or was he truly a ghost of his time? 3. The timeless fascination with mysteries. From spy novels to true crime podcasts, we're drawn to the unknown, and the Somerton Man embodies that allure. While recent DNA breakthroughs suggest the Somerton Man's identity as Carl Webb, many aspects of his story remain unresolved. His connection to the Rubáiyát, the cryptic code, and his mysterious death continue to spark debate. What do you think? Was the Somerton Man a spy, a scorned lover, or simply a man caught in extraordinary circumstances? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most enduring mysteries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that blur the line between the strange and the unexplainable. Thank you for watching, and remember, every mystery has its clues. All it takes is someone willing to piece them together.